Hi, I'm Vicki Conley, the Hangout coach. I am so excited to bring you today's guest and so grateful for those of you watching. First, just a little background about me. 2.5 years ago, life was so much different. I had just graduated from an online social media class. I was just learning about the power of Google Hangouts on Air. I was in love with the possibilities and the opportunities this platform could offer the local business or brand. Then, March 13th, 2013, my world as I knew it came to a screeching halt. My husband of 34 years had a grand mal seizure while we were out for dinner. The next day, we received the devastating news that Mike had a brain tumor. It was the most deadliest kind. It was stage 4, and his approximate lifespan was 2 years. So, wow. He was 55 at the time, and as his homebound caregiver, I was so grateful for Hangouts. They connected me to the world out there, the real world that continued to spin. Mike passed away in February of 2014. Today is my first public Hangout in a really long time, and I want to give a huge shout out to Jessica and Andrea, who have both been there to support me and inspire me through their amazing connections. And one of those is today's guest. So Carey Giudici's interesting life can be summed up in 3 words: discover, love, and share. This award-winning journalist, poet, and essayist has been writing and editing for 50 years. He's the author of Stay Happy, Conversations with My Daughters. He is also the editor of a new online magazine called We Aspire, as well as the author of many award-winning novels. Carey lived abroad for 12 years, recently Taiwan. He's fluent in Japanese and several other languages. Over the years, he's worked as an orphanage house father, English school developer, branding consultant, and public speaking coach. He is the proud father of Monica Teal, India, and Catherine Giudici. In early 2014, he walked Catherine down the aisle in a live wedding broadcast seen by 6.5 million people when she tied the knot with Bachelor Sean Lowe on the ABC hit show The Bachelor. I just lost my script. I didn't keep up. You're laughing threw me off. So anyway, we will get on with the program. And Carey, I'm so happy to have you as a guest today. And please share with our audience.
Thank you very much, Vicki. And at first, I really want to thank you and tell you what an honor it is that after your hiatus, you are getting back into the swing of things by giving me this opportunity to meet so many great people and to give some ideas to folks. And as you mentioned, Jessica and Andrea are the ones who introduced us, and their ultimate virtual network is an incredible place for people to meet people who you don't have to worry about, or you don't have to think about. You just jump in and start building a relationship from square one. And it's very unusual, and I really appreciate that. And thank you for the kind words in your introduction.
Yeah. Through their networking group is how we met. That was the last part of my script. I wanted to give them a shout out, so thank you for that.
Oh yeah, thank you. Anyway, I've been writing my whole life, as you mentioned, for 50 years or more. But I've done a lot of other things too, as you also mentioned. And one of the most recent things that I've really enjoyed has been branding coach. The reason I love being a branding coach is it has allowed me to do the 3 things that you mentioned. It helps people discover who they are, discover what they love to do, and then share what they've just discovered with the world in a way that's going to benefit them. And I've got a lot of stories because I've helped over about 100 people with their branding and using my original technique, my original strategy. But one of the most memorable ones, probably the most memorable one I had, was when I was coaching a man who was an IT professional, 25 years as a project manager in high tech. He was an Air Force Reserve officer and completely straight ahead, go get 'em type guy. But after we spent an hour, hour and a half talking one afternoon in Houston, we walked out. He looked up at the sky, and with his dreamy, almost dreamy voice, he said, "Carey, now I realize I really should be a counselor for kids." So it was a real breakthrough moment. And it got me thinking, how can this and one moment, this one piece of the puzzle of the brand be expanded so that people can be completely consistent and coherent whatever they do, and it's all related to that personal brand. It's not easy in our fragmented rush world. But finally this last year I realized I could use my writing background and my editing background and my love for these in a way that would help people bring everything together, so that they were finding ways of expressing what they loved and why they loved it, and how they can get other people to love it too. And the only barrier, it's a very small problem, but the only problem is if I help them write a book or series of articles or anything else, presentations, whatever they write has to be clear, concise, and compelling. Without those features, nobody who comes across things that you write is going to finish reading what you've written, and it's a waste of time for everybody. So as an editor, I'm very proud and excited to help people write that kind of content, write those kinds of ideas in a way that's going to really move people to take action. So what's in a great story? What are the, it's not about what you do or how you do it, but why you've done it. And why you do things is based on what makes you unique and gifted as an individual, and what got you to this point in your life that you're at right now. And I feel for myself that every moment, every experience, every encounter and conversation I've had in my life, all of those together bring me to this particular point, standing in front of my laptop and talking to the lovely Vicki. So everything is brought me to this point, and the things in your life have brought you to wherever you are right now. And if you are self-aware enough, and if you are creative enough and focused enough, and if you learn the basics of writing, you can communicate everything that brought you here in a way that will not only take you to the next step, but it will help other people with similar brands, with a similar why, discover themselves and move ahead on their own journey of discovery, love, and sharing. And so this is what's really exciting. And the bonus is, if you create a book, which is a lot easier than you think it is. It sounds like it's a huge task, but in this day and age, it is a lot easier than you believe. And you can think about it as starting a journal. And I can, my editor work is to help you do that journal and bring everything together so that what you're writing is clear, concise, and compelling, and will draw the kind of audience that you want. Not everybody. You don't want to be Microsoft. You want to be focused on the people who you can make a difference to and who will make a difference to you. And that's the kind of network that we all love. So the book is also, though, it's like a business card. Imagine you can walk in, when you meet people, you don't have to say anything. Say, here's my book. This is the book that I've written, and I use it with my own book. I can go in, and if a group is having a raffle, I say, here, use one of my books. You can have a drawing and give out one of my books. So there's so many different ways that you can use it that accomplish the kinds of things that you want to accomplish in a painless and a fun and a stimulating and a very fulfilling way. And that's why, as you might have guessed, I'm very excited about what I'm doing, and I'm really excited about the chance of working with the folks who are watching this.
Nice, nice. Oh, yeah, I was taking notes while you were going. And I love the fact, oh, let me unbox you there. I love the fact that, you know, it's as simple as taking your journal and talking to someone that has the talents as you to turn our words into something that can help other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to think about that when I'm writing my journal, when I'm writing in my journal, because I know we were talking the other day, and one of the things I've noticed is as I'm going through my healing path on my grief journey, and I'm reading books that other authors have put out there, I'm reading it and I'm thinking, I feel that way exactly. I could have wrote that. We think that we're so isolated and alone going through these situations, and it's like, oh, somebody else is having the same, you know, going through the same situation I am. I mean, some of the circumstances are tweaked a little bit, but that's why I say we all have a story.
And one of the things that we have to remember is everyone believes, well, we're all on the internet all day. Who's writing and who's reading? Well, the fact is, if you look at someone with their smartphone or their laptop, what are they doing? They're writing and they're reading. So we've actually never had an era in which so many people were spending so much of their time writing and reading. The only thing that you need to do, that any of us need to do, is to use that activity that we're doing all the time in a more purposeful, focused, you know, and productive way. And that's where good writing comes in. And if I can mention really briefly that in May, I'm going to be doing a writing workshop here in Silicon Valley. It'll be an all-day workshop where I'll be going into a lot of what we're talking about now, but in a lot more detail, and we'll be giving a lot of techniques and tactics that people can use to make their writing better, fast, and make it fun.
Okay. Well, we'll have to talk about maybe one day doing a Google Hangout writers workshop. That could be something to do. So,
right.
All right, I am going to check and see if there are any questions over on the event page. And I don't know what I did, but the event page is not, there it is. I didn't have it where it was supposed to be. Okay. Oh, Karen says, love you, Miss Vicki. Thanks for the hangout. Oh, thanks, Karen. And I know Junie Moon was going to watch later. She had something going on today, so shout out to her too. Thank you all for supporting us. So we don't have any questions, but I do have one question for you.
Right.
I know that you use CreateSpace in order to do your publishing. I've been hearing that as a buzzword, you know, in the last couple months. I think with you was like the third or fourth time I've heard it. So it's like, all right, it's time to pay attention. So can you give us like say 3 easy steps on how to get started with CreateSpace?
Well, it's CreateSpace is giving us all the opportunity to publish ourselves. If you only have 10 pages, 20 pages, you can go to CreateSpace, and for no cost, you can have, they will print it in a book. I mean, the setup cost. Then you will pay for each copy. You can buy them, or it can be offered for 99 cents or whatever online on Amazon, because it is an Amazon company. And they make it so easy. There's really no technical excuse for people not to be self-publishing. Just a few years ago, you had to spend thousands of dollars going to some vanity press or some publisher and hope and pray that something worked out. Well, nowadays, you know, if you've got I've got 7 books planned. Each of these little books is going to be about 1 chapter about how to write. And you can do it in so many different creative ways. So, and they make it really easy for you. You can just copy and paste whatever is in your Word document that you've got. They've got it formatted already. All you have to do is put it in the formatting. And by the way, I'd also like to mention, if someone wants to do Kindle formatting, it's a little more complicated, but I got mine done for $10. I use Fiverr.com.
I love Fiverr.
It was great, and this guy did a wonderful job for me in a couple of days. And so that more complicated part of the formatting job is still very little work and has no real challenges to it. So I hope you everyone should look into. And in terms of getting set up, just go to createspace.com and follow the directions. It's very logical. They're working with thousands and thousands of authors, so they've got it down to a science, and will make it easy for you. And if you just want to experiment, even if you don't share it, you know, print it out, order a couple of copies, and then you can use that as a business card that we're talking about. So the whole publishing industry and the whole wordsmith world has changed to enable us to put things out.
Okay, so to get started on CreateSpace, go to createspace.com. And just have your, okay, you said have clear, concise, compelling content.
That's right.
Which if someone needs help, they can contact you and you can deal with that.
Yes.
And then I know what you said the other day when we were talking that CreateSpace, that they had the templates already set up, so you don't even have to do any of that. It's just a
formatting. It's all just like I said, copy and paste.
Copy and paste. So copy and paste your content into the templates that are already set up.
And you just have to decide what size template you want. You have to decide what size of the book you want is.
Okay.
They have templates for each one of those sizes.
Okay. And then if you want to do Kindle, you can spend hours pulling your hair out trying to figure out yourself, or you can go to Fiverr and find someone good that can format it for you. And if they know you, they're going to be able to get a recommendation on somebody that knows how to do it. So
if I can mention one thing, a lot of people say, I'm interested in writing a book, so I'm going to get a writing coach. Please believe me, you do not need a writing coach. There's a lot of good writing coaches out there, but most of them are going, including me. If you came to me for a writing coach, I would be trying to get you to write my book. Well, you don't want to write my book. You want to write your book. And so you really need, and any published author will tell you, the #1 most important thing to have is a good editor. And I urge everybody to remember that you now have a world-class editor in your team. And I'm very happy and willing and excited about helping you polish and present things. I'm in the middle now. I'm almost finished with a 250-page historical novel. It's the 8th novel written for the same author, and 3 of her books have won awards, 3 of the books I edited for. So I do it all the time. I love it to death, and I love bringing out what people are doing. So if you're not using me, just make sure that you have some good editor on your team, even if it's something short, because you still want it to be as clear, concise, and compelling as possible.
all right, that's awesome. Well, I thank you for the interview, Carey. We'll see what people think about this. I love the Hangout format. It's easy for you and I to talk one-on-one. We're both sitting in our homes. I'm in the process of rebuilding my brand. I do have the website, thehangoutcoach.com. However, I've made a connection with another person from the Ultimate Women's Network and Plus Men, and she's going to be helping me get my website up and going. I've got some plans that are coming together, and hope to be able to offer this to more people that are in our mastermind group. So
that's great, and thank you for introducing me to Hangout. I've never used it before.
Oh, you're so welcome. I love Hangout virgins.
So we can all be multimedia. You don't need to just be a writer.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, you hang on there, Carey. I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast and say goodbye to everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will see you around. See you around.
Stay happy.
Yep. Stay happy.